Back in Dayton, Ohio, Temple and Indiana next on the floor here at the University of Dayton Arena. And the winner to head to the Sweet 16 in Washington in a matchup with Syracuse on Thursday in the regional semifinals. We've had one thriller here already with Ohio State winning. Jim Nance along with Clark Kellogg. Welcome back, friends. Hey, big story going into this one. Not only, of course, Indiana seeded #1, but its opponent today, and Khalif Wyatt. Will he be 100% for this game?
Well, he jammed his thumb the other night in the game that Temple played. And it's going to be interesting, Jim. Can he catch and handle the ball effectively with that left thumb being bothered? I talked to him briefly before the game. He said he's fine, he's ready to go. We'll see if that's the case. And then Temple's ability to defend Zeller is something else to keep an eye on.
And Tracy Wolfson will be along with more on that shortly. 3 seniors for Temple. The Owls 24-9 on the year. And Indiana with its 2 seniors, Hulls and Watford, and 28-6. And again, the Big Ten regular season champions and 1 seed in that East bracket. There is Fran Dunphy, 6th straight year he's taken the Owls to the tournament. A teacher, that's what he is, and so too is this man. What a tactician. Tom Crean, 5th year at Indiana, major rebuild, and 2 straight NCAA tournament teams in Bloomington, coached by Tom Crean. Green and Driscoll and Jordan, the officials for this one. The tap controlled by Indiana. Coming off a win against James Madison University here on Friday afternoon, while Temple defeated North Carolina State.
Jefferson starts out on Oladipo. Cummings on Farrell. Indiana, so much balance offensively. They'll look to play through Zeller, but they also can hurt you on the perimeter.
Oladipo with an opening drive for 2. Well, Temple once again goes with O'Brien in the starting lineup ahead of Anthony Lee, who suffered concussion-like symptoms, headaches, and did not start in the game against NC State. There is O'Brien, filled in for him and did a really good job. He's been such a key sub all season long. Scooty Randall outside and a 3. It's long for Cummings.
2 good looks for Temple. They'll be reasonably deliberate, but they've got to make sure they transition back defensively so Indiana doesn't get those quick hitting attacks. Indiana going to play through Zeller in the half court. There you take a look at Anthony Lee. They really will miss his presence because I know he'll play, but he's been bothered by those concussion type symptoms and may not be 100%, but his athleticism will be sorely missed here today for Temple.
Zeller took his eye off of it, and Cummings and the Owls.
Mismatch here. Watford trying to stay in front of Wyatt.
Wyatt banks it home. Had the highest point game by an individual in this tournament so far with 31 in the victory against the Wolfpack. And Farrell got caught. The 2nd turnover already by the Hoosiers.
A little over penetration there, Jim.
Wyatt. That's a 3. Tapped over. Watford collects it.
Nice job by Temple to get back. They want to try to make Indiana play in the half court as much as possible, Jim, because when the Hoosiers get running, they really can hurt you because of so many guys that can score and shoot the three-point shot.
Holmes to Zeller. Working on O'Brien. Left hand and a clean defensive play.
Well done by Jake O'Brien that time. Moved his feet and challenged the shot at the end. Mismatch here. Randall's got to look to go to work.
And he stepped on the baseline.
Here's Khalif Wyatt, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, able to take advantage of the mismatch with Watford. And then at the other end, nice job by Jake O'Brien. This will be a key in the game, folks. How well can Temple defend Cody Zeller in the low post?
Oladipo. And that's from the Kraft spot on the floor. Except it's a 2.
He has so improved his perimeter shot, Jim. 25 percentage points improvement as a three-point shooter for Oladipo.
Well, that is pretty amazing.
Off the charts it is.
Led the Big Ten Conference in field goal percentage.
And we know what kind of defensive player he is. Actually, the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, Oladipo, because of his versatility.
And a two-point shot by Hollis-Jefferson. Lands in the hands of the Owls, and Cummings gets a chance to load up a 3.
And there's Randall again. He's done yeoman's work the last few ball games, Jim, on the offensive boards. He already has 2 here in the first 4 minutes.
Oladipo defending on Wyatt. Tough shot. Almost got it. Watford trailing. Now takes off. Bounce pass inside. Zeller. And again, the Owls are there underneath to stop the big man.
He hesitated that time, Jim, and gave him a chance to stop him.
Randall misfires on that one. Temple's 1 out of 8 from the field.
And boy, they've gotten some good looks at it too, Jim, have the Owls.
Yogi Ferrell. And Zeller tried to tap it. Trying to reach around Randall, who's picked up some big rebounds. Wyatt's got 2 more.
It doesn't seem like that thumb is bothering him so far, Jim. He's had 2 nice drives to the rim.
Been icing that thumb, getting all kinds of treatment for the 36 hours since their early afternoon win on Friday.
Oh, even as we take a look at Khalif Wyatt, finger rolling to 2 more points. He's got all 4 for Temple.
looking at Wyatt, who has 2 buckets already for the Owls, and let's go over to Tracy Wolfson.
Well, yeah, we've been talking about that thumb all game so far, and he actually had an X-ray Friday after the game, and they came back negative. I spoke with him yesterday, and he's been icing it, as you can see from this Instagram picture he sent out, and he told me he took it really easy in practice yesterday. He said the biggest thing, though, is when he is defending and catching the ball, not when he's dribbling, but looks like he's okay right now, guys.
Well, he certainly does.
He sure does.
Zeller hits the first free throw, coming off of a foul against O'Brien. Zeller, who made 4 baskets in the win against the Dukes. All 4 of them were dunks against the Dukes of James Madison on Friday.
Zeller made and attempted more free throws than anybody in the Big Ten this year, Jim. That's a big part of his game. A big part of O'Brien's game, too. He made 4 of 6 threes the other day against NC State.
Oladipo, and I'll tell you what, was he up in the air at the other end? He made the play both sides there, Clark.
Doesn't take long, Jim. They really can hurt you in transition. And Temple knows that. Got burned that time. They've got to minimize those quick hitting scores.
Wyatt, he's got a 3.
Jim, this kid loves the big moment. Went for 33 at the Garden against Syracuse earlier this year. 31 we saw him get quietly in the win against North Carolina State. But he has tremendous confidence in his ability.
Sheehy missing the left-handed shot. And watch live games on your computer, iPhone, iPad, and select Android devices. With NCAA March Madness Live, watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Now, the winner here will face Syracuse in the East Regional Semifinals. It would be a rematch. You mentioned it. Temple and Syracuse played earlier this year, and Temple beat them when the Orange were number 3 in the country. Flip it, and if it's Indiana, you'd have an Indiana-Syracuse matchup in the tournament, which of course would spark memories of the '87 championship game and Keith Smart.
That's right.
Sheehy just dumps it down low, and Zeller that time had the position on O'Brien.
That's exactly where Indiana should go in the half court. Actually, every time, if there's nothing available early, I think they've got to really try to milk the advantage of Zeller inside.
As Hollis-Jefferson was feeding the post, Sheehy is whistled for that one.
Beautiful job by Sheehy to throw this ball away from the defender, angle Zeller towards the corner of the backboard so that he has an angle to make the catch in the play. But well done by Sheehy because he put the ball right where it needed to be.
Oladipo, usually a lockdown defender, trying to figure out a way to contain Wyatt, who already has 7. Wyatt gives it up. O'Brien, jumper, no. And Oladipo is in the right place. May have pushed off a little bit, right into Wyatt's face.
I think Wyatt doing a little acting there, Jim.
Sheehy with a 3.
Wyatt going to be called for a little lower body root canal, trying to root out Hollowell on that backside rebound attempt.
You thought it was a little acting, huh? Coming down the floor?
No question, partner. Khalif is smart, and he tried. Oh, yeah, clearly. Extra drama there. You'd agree with that, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. Give him a Screen Actors Guild card.
SAG, here we come.
A SAG card. Like the one you have in your wallet right now.
Yeah, you called it. You called it.
Hollis-Jefferson drives for 2.
From here, Hollis-Jefferson.
Zeller again. O'Brien tries. Can't stop that. Indiana keeps going back to that matchup.
That's exactly where they should go, Jim. I mean, again, if they can't get anything early in transition, then they've got to make sure they make Temple defend Zeller inside.
Holes hit the floor, and Gave Randall an open look. And right back Randall. Saw it coming. Holmes got hit in the face. Oh, that's a charge.
Oh.
Offensive foul on Randall.
What a play by Scooty Randall to get the pilfer. And I thought he had points here. Let's take a look. Excellent job anticipating and shooting the gap. Halls took a shot to the face. Actually, they bumped heads. That's what it was. Halls and Scooty Randall bumped heads. And then Randall called for the offensive foul as Zeller gave up his body and took it. Well, I'd really like to see the benefit of the doubt go to the offensive player more in these open court situations in the college game.
Not often enough, you feel?
I don't think so.
Hollowell up the front of the rim for three. Freshman from Indianapolis. DeLeo in, handling it now for Temple.
TJ had a strong game Wednesday against North Carolina State. The numbers don't say a lot, but he was part of what changed that game for Temple in the first half with his excellent defense.
Wyatt step back three. And it's Hollowell coming out with it to Hulls. And now Watford. Bounce pass, Sheehy, and a dunk. What a pass by Christian Watford. 7-point run by Indiana.
Danger zone here for Temple, Jim. They're playing too fast and opening up the floor for Indiana.
Sheehy will shoot a couple.
Indiana has so many guys that can score, but they also can make plays. Beautiful pass by Watford and a nice cut and finish by the ever-active and bouncy Will Sheehy.
Basket by Cody Zeller. Victor Oladipo.
Tournament summary, history made here in Dayton in the first game. The 100th NCAA tournament game here at the University of Dayton Arena. The all-time number, and it came down to one of the all-time shots here for Aaron Kraft in his decorated career, as he takes the shot right over Niang, who was not right up on him, and you know why.
Exactly. He wanted to guard against the drive, and Kraft, not that strong a perimeter shooter. There was a switch that left Niang on him, Jim, and Aaron Kraft, to his credit, recognized that, took his time, and stepped into a three-point shot that won the game.
Sheehy. It's interesting, though, how Kraft, that last 29 seconds, wanted it the whole way.
Yeah, no question about it. They were looking for Deshaun Thomas, Jim. He was the first option, but Kraft had missed a couple of free throws, got the mismatch and recognized it, and decided to take it himself, and it worked out just fine for the Buckeyes.
A high flying tap in by Hollis-Jefferson. Remy Abel in, and dribbling out high right now. Indiana trying to be the second Big Ten team to win here today after that Ohio State victory. And Watford backing him in and gets the two.
Nicely done by Christian Watford against pretty good defense. You see a couple of the round ballers for the Buckeyes, assistant coaches there. Probably pulling for the Big Ten Conference in Indiana here this afternoon.
Was Watford who blocked the shot. It's going to stay at this end. See real stories of human achievement featured on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. Randall returns, and Zeller as well on the Indiana side. Temple shooting only 28% thus far.
And Jim, Temple 10-2 in its last 12 games, and in those games they have shot 46% from the floor and averaged 79 points a game. And one of the reasons that's been the case is because Wyatt can not only score but get himself to the foul line.
And Zeller slapped him right across the forearm. So Wyatt seemed to live at the line on Friday. In fact, 19 of the last 22 points scored by Temple in that game came at the free throw line, many of them by Wyatt.
I think he made 12 free throws in that game, didn't he, Jim?
He did, and he's had 2 games this season where he went 15 of 15.
And 6 games where he's gone 30 plus in the point column. And he is a guy who loves the big moment. Doesn't shy away from it, and because he has such excellent change of pace, Jim, he's not a guy that blows by his defender. He gets angles, he changes pace, he's got the high floaters, he's got the deep three, and he knows how to draw contact to get himself to the foul line. Extremely crafty in how he approaches things offensively.
Sheehy from the corner, circles out, Lee's in there for Temple, as Zeller tries to bounce it off of him, and Temple alertly was able to avoid the bounce off the knee. Here's Wyatt again, just floating through there for 2 more.
That time he was in a mismatch. Watford trying to defend him, went right around him. Nothing wrong with that thumb so far, Jim. This kid is off to a terrific start.
He's got 11.
Indiana's best when it's moving the ball with the pass. A little bit too much dribbling here. And great defense by Temple. Hollis-Jefferson, very active. Khalif Wyatt, here you see him matched up with Watford. Just shakes him up and drops him off. And a little finger roll. He's got a lot of old school in his package.
He's a glider.
Yeah, he is. He doesn't elevate too high, but he does glide. And there are a lot of ways to get that ball in the hoop, and he knows how to do it without much elevation.
Bowles comes right in, off the whistle, puts up the 3. They were low on the shot clock. Oladipo. 2 more for Wyatt. It's not very often anyone does this against Oladipo.
Well, he was looking forward to the challenge. You heard him in the interview after the North Carolina State game was over. Who did he want He wanted to see his team go mano-mano against the #1 seed. And when you're going to talk like that, you better bring your game. And Khalif Wyatt has.
O'Brien and Cummings, 2 starters, back into the Temple lineup.
Nice little surge here, Jim, after Indiana had a little momentum. 17-9 at the 11:08 mark. A little 8-3 run here by Temple.
O'Brien is going to stay with Temple. They'll have 15 on the shot clock when we come back out of the under 8. Temple only 1 out of 8 from 3, but down just 3. #1 seed Indiana in the East, taking on Temple here in Dayton, Ohio. And there you see the numbers, over 50% from the floor for the Hoosiers, but 6 offensive rebounds by Temple, led by Wyatt's hot start. 13 of the 17 for the Owls. It's Temple ball underneath. And it'll be Wyatt inbounding.
Jim, you talked about those offensive rebounds. There's Anthony Lee inside. Can he get it up and over? Another tough miss for the Temple Owls.
Oladipo gets it over to Farrell.
Going back to those offensive rebounds, it's led to 5 more shot attempts for Temple. They just got to start converting them at a better rate.
Got a hold on O'Brien, trying to prevent that pass coming down inside to Zeller. That's 2 for him. And Sheehy replaces Hulls. And that's again 2 on O'Brien.
5 team fouls on Temple, Jim. You don't don't want to send Indiana into the bonus early because the Hoosiers shoot 75% from the stripe.
Zeller now with Lee behind him. Quick pass up ahead. And the save went off the official. Hollowell is there for the Hoosiers. Picked off right back by Wyatt. And it's going to go to Indiana.
Wyatt again trying to draw the foul there. A little extra acting, but no call, and a turnover for Temple.
You know, they're working on Hull's shoulder. Remember that collision they had with Scooty Randall? And you saw, in fact, on that replay a while back that he instantly kind of grabbed his collarbone area.
Sure did.
So they're taking him to the locker room.
This is the play you were talking about, Jim. You see right there, there's the shoulder. It actually shoulder head to head, and then it looked like shoulder blade to shoulder blade there. And you see Halls immediately grabbing that shoulder. And Zeller just picked up his second foul, Jim.
That's the whole clavicle area that he grabbed, and they take him in. Hull's such a leader on this Indiana team. Such a huge part of the rebuild. A fantastic story of what Tom Crean has been able to do. Didn't do it right away. He can't do it the right way that way. Hollis-Jefferson comes up short, and Hollowell there for the rebound. And they build around three players at first. Hulls and Watford, as Oladipo's long, and Elston as well. And gradually every year, bringing in players. Wyatt's got another three. Game's tied, Clark.
And that's amazing considering how poorly Temple has shot the basketball other than Wyatt. But he's the kind of guy, Jim, as Sheehy's short arms one. Indiana playing a little too fast right now. I know they want to play fast, but wow.
Randall missed the chance to put Temple up. Owls have scored the last 9.
Getting back to the pace. Indiana wants it brisk, but they've got to make sure they get quality shots.
It's Watford. Long rebound out to Oladipo. And Farrell. No, but the follow-up is good by Watford. Indiana's first points in 5 minutes. Now Wyatt got Sheehy to commit. He's got 2 more.
He's got it all. He's got it all in terms of an offensive game, Jim. Tom Crean said it. There's no better all-purpose guard in the country than Khalif Wyatt. He's going to have the ball a lot, and so far, he's doing nothing but good things with it when it's in his hands.
How about 18 of 22? The Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. Oladipo better be aware. 2 seconds to shoot.
It has been the Khalif Wyatt show for Temple. Off the dribble and off the glass. Finger roll. Step back 3. Full pantry full of offense for Khalif Wyatt. Already said he's gone 30 or more 6 times, Jim. He's well on his way again.
No question. Well on his way. With 18. Randall. But it's Hollis-Jefferson, who's been doing a lot of dirty work for the Owls.
He does a ton of that, Jim. He's so valuable in what he does.
How about that one? Wyatt from about 30. And now Watford trying to drive past Hollis-Jefferson. Comes up short on the layup. Quick snap out to Cummings. To the corner. To Leo. Hollis-Jefferson with Elston on him. And that's Randall, who struggled with his shot here early. 0 for 5. Sheehy with the lay-in and the lead by 2. Wyatt, fade away, 2 more. He's got 20. What a show. Contact on Cummings.
Khalif Wyatt said he wanted to play Indiana. He's showing them why. This kid is on fire. Every which way, giving them buckets of plenty.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg, Kenny, and Charles take again a look at Ohio State's last-second victory. And that's coming up AT&T at the half. Let's go over to Tracy.
Well, guys, we saw Jordan Hulls being taken to the locker room with that shoulder injury. I was just back by the Indiana locker room, and they were putting ice on it, and they told me they don't anticipate him returning in this first half. He will be reevaluated at halftime, and I'll get you a further update then, guys.
That doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't, and that's a terrific blow to Indiana because he's such an experienced ball handler, another three-point shooter, one of the 4 that averages double digits for Indiana. So that'll put a little more pressure on Yogi Ferrell to run things, and Remy Abel, who's played really well of late in a reserve role, may get extended minutes now. Zeller has been sitting for the last few minutes, Jim, because of foul trouble.
Watford too strong with the short shot, and it's Wyatt. Way up ahead. Hollis-Jefferson with the Leo. Gives it up to Lee for 2.
Anthony Lee.
What a play by TJ as you look at Cody Zeller, Victor Oladipo. But Temple just a little quicker to the ball, a little more aggressive. And is that the first lead for the Owls?
It is, and it's going to be Watford to the line. It's the first time Indiana's trailed in the tournament, having gone wire to wire against James Madison on Friday.
This all started with the quick push ahead by Wyatt, then the nice curl cut by TJ DeLeo. See, that puts pressure on your defense. You curl from weak side to strong side, force that defense to react, and then the nice drop off to Lee.
Be the first to know the latest news on all your teams with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. Stay one step ahead. Check out Team Stream on your iPhone, iPad, or Android device today.
This pro Hoosiers crowd has gone quite silent here, Jim, thanks to the work that the Owls have done, rendering what would appear to be a home building environment not as much.
Well, Wyatt's got that shot.
Yep.
That is the silencer.
Yeah, he's got a mute. He's got the mute button game.
It does.
Remy Abel now defending Wyatt.
Wyatt wants it. Wants to challenge the sophomore. Underneath.
That's another area where they've really hurt the Hoosiers so far, Jim, is these second shot chances. I mean, Temple, if the Owls were shooting a reasonable percentage, would be up 6 or 8 points.
Second foul on Sheehy. So Scooty Randall, the senior who missed all of last season because of a knee in his 5th year. He's already graduated, already gone through the commencement. He misses all of last year, comes back in the first game this year and says, let me give you a little taste of what you guys were missing. And he puts up 31 against Kent State in the first game. Talking about Randall at the line. Here's a guy that's all familiar, too familiar with 30-point performances.
And Randall has played some of his best basketball of late, Jim. 15 points a game in his last 10, although he shoots that free throw a little hard. And he's been terrific all year on the offensive glass. Had a couple of those offensive rebounds here today.
He's got 8 total rebounds and a foot on the line. Back foot by Remy Abel.
And of those 8 rebounds, Jim, Randall has 4 offensive rebounds.
Jeremy Hollowell checks in for the Hoosiers. Also returning for Temple number 22.
Right there.
O'Brien.
So Wyatt bounces right back onto the floor. A couple of different Hoosiers have tried to guard him.
Not much success.
To Leo, to O'Brien. And Hollis-Jefferson hits the shot. And Temple's lead now is 3.
Again, Zeller left at the 6:50 mark with his second personal foul. You see how close the points in the paint game is, and that was an advantage Indiana thought it would have. Not so far.
Here's Abel with 8 to shoot. Hollowell over to Abel from the wing. And Temple can pretty much hold it for the last shot.
Well, very impressed by the defense of Temple in the half court. Very active. Indiana seems to be out of sync. Certainly missing Halls and Zeller these last 7 or 8 minutes. It just has not had much continuity offensively in the half court.
Wyatt, you know it. He wants to take it all the way down. Said to his teammate, give me the ball. 5 to shoot. On a second differential. Here's Wyatt. Abel trying to stay with him. Just beats the clock. And it's off the rim. But they did indeed secure the last shot, which assured them of the halftime lead.
That's right.
29-26 Temple. Let's go over to Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Coach. You have a 3-point lead on the #1 team in the nation. It's been all Khalif Wyatt. How has he been able to have such success so far?
Well, he's so crafty with what he does. He can get shots amazingly. I'm not sure we're running a whole lot of great offense, but he's certainly carrying the load for us. We can't have him do that in the second half, though. We got to step up. I thought Jefferson's last jumper helped us.
You told me your biggest concern, though, was going to be Cody Zeller and his size. How have you been able to contain him?
You know, luckily he got a little bit of foul trouble, but we're going to need to help on him greatly, and hopefully we can limit how difficult he'll be to guard in the second half.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Jim.
Indiana's 3-point halftime deficit ties their largest halftime deficit of the season. They led by 9 at 20-11. Temple outscores them 18-6 the rest of the way. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages.
Fans help celebrate 75 years of March Madness by going to NCAA.com/March Madness and voting for the all-time players, teams, and moments from tournaments past. Compare players with in-depth bios, extensive stats, and relive all those epic March Madness moments. Be a part of history. Help select the all-time March Madness players, teams, and moments. You can vote at NCAA.com/March Madness today. Experience it live and celebrate 75 years of March Madness at the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Regionals. Be a VIP in the NCAA experience. Packages are available and can include game tickets, free VIP hospitality access, hotel
Jordan Hulls is in the layup line, wearing a protective vest and taped up after leaving the floor early in the first half with a shoulder injury. Halftime with Temple leading 29-26. And we'll return to Dayton after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Defend.
And let's take a look at the first half stats presented by Coke Zero. It's been the Khalif Wyatt show here in Dayton in game 2. Wyatt leading the way here with 20. Let's go over to Tracy Wolfson.
Coach, you've had a hard time defending Khalif Wyatt in that first half. How do you adjust here?
Well, we just got to deny his touches. It's like we expect him to give it up. He's not going to give it up. We've got to do a better job of making it harder for him, not let him get his spots and challenge his shots better, and make it much harder for them to run their offense through him.
We saw Jordan Hulls go out with that shoulder injury. Can you give us an update?
Well, he's shooting the ball okay right now. You know, he just got to work over it mentally. They cleared him to play, so hopefully he has a great second half.
We appreciate it. Thanks.
Clark, we're talking about Wyatt being defended by maybe the best in the nation. Oladipo, a good part of that first half.
Yeah, he was, and Wyatt just has so much in his offensive game, Jim. Change of pace, knows how to get angles, stronger than he looks, quicker than he appears, deceptively quick, and he carried the load. But they're going to need other guys to rise up and make shots. You heard Fran Dunphy prior to halftime talking about that. Wyatt can also facilitate. The guys in the studio talking about his need to be ready to facilitate. Indiana going to have to really try to make it tougher for him to get the ball where he wants it. Remy Abel going to start on him defensively in this first possession.
That means Hulls is going to sit down at the start of this second half.
That's right, partner, that shoulder. And anytime a guy is injured, and if he doesn't start right away, you wonder if, in fact, he's going to be able to make it back out in the next 20 minutes.
Here's Wyatt right away, right out of the locker room after Indiana went in and spent probably a good bulk of the time talking about how to stop him. He scores right away.
But, Jim, I think that's the first post-up he's had. So he hadn't shown him that, and he went right to the rim against Abel on the post-up, and another turnover for Indiana. That's 9 turnovers, Jim. Indiana seems totally out of sync. mean, they're just not sharp or crisp at all. And the longer that takes place, the more the pressure builds on the #1 seed.
Not that time for Wyatt. The freshman here with Hollis down will have to step up. Yogi Ferrell, but not this time. Got a little careless with that pass.
Yeah, he was late with it, Jim.
O'Brien, he can shoot it. Not this time. And O'Brien, who had 18 on Friday, gets 2 here. No, they say it's going against O'Brien offensive.
Wow. Let's take another look. Another offensive rebound for Temple. They've controlled that end of the court. Nice job by Yogi Ferrell. Here you see Temple coming up with the loose ball. O'Brien, and that's a good call. I thought Yogi Ferrell was in good position, and Jordan Hollis, glad to see that type of play defensively for Indiana.
And Lee comes in for O'Brien, who goes to the bench with 3. Going back to the first half now. Hoosiers 5 minutes without a basket. And the Depot just has it swiped away.
Well, Jim, they're trying to do too much too quick off the dribble. Not really utilizing the offense, Indiana.
And this time it's Temple who got a little sloppy. And Watford finds Abel. Underneath, Hoosiers. Abel comes back out. A little tentative.
Very. Foul on Cummings there, bails him out, but I tell you what, Indiana looks disjointed.
They'll bring in Sheehy, and DeLeo comes in for Temple.
Indiana, #0, Will Sheehy, and for Temple, #11.
You know, we talked about on Friday, when you visit with Tom Crean, he talks about his team. He's going to bring up the word edge pretty quickly. They haven't had it in this one. They had it on Friday, right from the start against James Madison. There was that intensity, and everything was efficient. And they were sharp and snappy. Well, there they go. Zeller inside. They had to go a good part of the first half without him.
Yeah, they did. He only played in that first half. Jim Zeller played 10 minutes, so they need to get him established in the low post in the half court. And at this end, they've got to do a better job defensively and then on the defensive glass. Temple has 10 offensive rebounds already.
And a basket by Relier Hollis-Jefferson.
Jim, this is the classic case of the underdog, the lower seeded team, growing in confidence, being disruptive, and the team that's the higher seed becoming a bit tentative. How do you break out of it? You got to get some easy scores.
Oladipo flips it in the general area and then grabs it in the corner.
And the Indiana Hoosiers have to allow the offense to work itself. Everybody's trying to make a play right away on their own. They've got to trust the offense. This is a team that moves the ball well, has good spacing. None of that is on display here today.
Temple was out of bounds when it touched the basketball, so Hoosiers maintain it, but the shot clock's at 8 as Oladipo fails to hit the shot. Yeah, the longer you go, the better seeded team starts to say, wait a minute, we could lose this.
Exactly.
While the psychology the other way is, you know what, we can play with it, we can win this.
Let's go after it. You're right. One team is trying to prevent disaster. The other team is trying to go for glory. And it's a hard thing to get out of your head.
There's Sheehy again, feeding Zeller, who hits the floor and is slow to get up. He's fine. Crowd wanted a foul. Randall, and a long rebound to Watford. They're still upset that Zeller did not get a chance to shoot free throws.
Well, from my angle, it looked like it was just an aggressive and clean play on the block, with perhaps a little incidental contact, but not enough to warrant a foul, at least on first look.
Foul away from the ball. It's on Randall. Yeah, that was Lee who came in and denied it.
It sure was. And no foul there. That's a good play up top. Temple +5 and feeling confident.
Get full coverage of the 2013 Division I Women's Basketball Tournament at ncaa.com/women's Final Four. Jordan Hulls coming back into the game with a protective vest and some taping. His family with strong ties to this Indiana program. His grandfather, John Hulls, was on Coach Bobby Knight's first coaching staff. He's a Bloomington kid. Led his high school to a state championship.
And Jim, they're looking for leadership here and a stabilizing influence from Jordan Hulls, because they have been completely out of sync, and it's almost like golf. When you're the higher seeded team and things aren't going your way, the harder you try sometimes, the worse it gets. Like that case in point. Challenged at the rim, no foul, and then not able to reel in the offensive rebound. Take a look. Zeller going to try to force his way through Anthony Lee, who does a good job walling up, moving his feet, and forcing a tough shot.
Between Hulls and Farrell, those two guards for Indiana have played 30 total minutes and have not scored. As Lee finds the jumper, it's Hulls plucking it out of the air.
Tell you what, Indiana really fortunate the way they've been out of sync offensively, that Temple's not making more shots.
They're going to get Lee this time, and the Indiana contingent here roars with approval. That's the second.
There he is fighting him. That's clearly a foul, yeah. Trying to fight him before post position is established.
Oladipo gets the screen from Zeller and gets the basket. All set up by the screen. Oladipo might be the guy that'll turn this momentum around for the Hoosiers.
Well, they've got to make sure they get the ball from side to side a little bit more and create some easier shots for themselves.
Ball's on the floor. To Leo from behind trying to defend, and you're not going to get there when it's Oladipo. And yes, indeed, he is stepping up.
Haven't been in many games where he hasn't, Jim. Victor Oladipo.
Zeller now defending on Lee. Nice work there by the sophomore from Columbia, Missouri.
Big time move down on the low block by Anthony Lee. He's battling Zeller inside too.
Hulls passing inside, and Zeller to the line. Just a little bit stronger there. He might have had a chance for the three-point play.
Well, I like the fact Zeller turned to his left shoulder there. A lot of times he'll go baseline, giving the defender the baseline and his body as defenders. You turn to the middle, you take one of those away.
The other thing is he just drew another foul on Lee, so he picks up 2 quick ones, 3 overall. As parents, Lori and Steve Zeller. What a basketball family they are.
Big time, Jim.
Yeah, their sons Luke and Tyler each won a state title. They're in Washington, Indiana, a little town of about 12,000 in southern Indiana. And then along came Cody and he won 3.
Yeah. Typically works out that way. The last one of an athletic family usually benefits from having been bounced around by the older siblings. Temple already, Jim, with 5 team fouls. Indiana is yet to commit one. That could be large, and the Hoosiers trying to come back.
Randall front of the rim, and Zeller gives it up to Sheehy. And here's Hulls, and things have turned since Hulls has come back into the game.
You know, it's weird how that works out sometimes. Hulls hasn't had an impact other than his presence, and sometimes that's enough, Jim.
Indiana crowd looking for the lead. Zeller baseline underneath. He traveled.
That's one of the things in Cody Zeller's game that I think he's got to work on. He plays smaller than he is when he catches the ball in the post. See how low he gets trying to make a move, and he negates his height advantage. I think he can make that same move more upright and not lose balance and be in a position to score. He'll do that on some of his drives as well. He'll get horizontal and not vertical.
He's been charged with 5 turnovers in this one. Here's Wyatt.
Wyatt's got to get back. He thought he was fouled. This is where Indiana can hurt you.
Halls had the chance to give the Hoosiers the lead.
A little better flow for Indiana the last couple of possessions. They've gone inside. That was a good opportunity in transition. And that's what the Hoosiers have to get back to. Temple, on the other hand, needs to have somebody else be able to knock down the shot.
And a foul underneath. And it's called on Sheehy. His third.
Very physical out there, folks. There you see Sheehy. Nice job by Jake O'Brien to get his body into him and not allow him to go over the top cleanly, and that's why Sheehy picks up the foul.
And Oladipo comes in for him.
Much more attention to being aggressive on Wyatt by the Hoosiers.
Wyatt has been scoreless the last 7 minutes.
Another opportunity created by T.J. DeLeo. Just on that banana cut, we call it, Jim. Just a little half circle coming from the weak side to the strong side. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense and usually creates a good scoring opportunity for the offense.
That's the first foul on Holmes, and Randall right there makes it a 2-point Temple lead. Celebrate 75 years of March Madness by voting for your all-time players, teams, and moments of the NCAA tournament at ncaa.com/March Madness. O'Brien now trying to defend Zeller, and it bounces out, but back to the line.
Love the strategy by Indiana, and like the move by Zeller to go to the middle. The defender doesn't have as much room or help if you take him to the middle there. And that's what Zeller does. And you can clearly see the bump by O'Brien, and that's foul number 4 on Jake.
That's becoming a big story here. The two guys trying to defend Zeller. One has 4, one has 3. And we still have 12 minutes to go.
And also 1 foul away from being in the penalty is Temple. Indiana on the season, Jim, has taken 325 more and made 265 more free throws than its opponents. And very well could be part of the recipe in getting all the way back on top in this one.
Watford in for the shooter. You saw Hulls go out after some productive minutes. Yogi Ferrell will be handling the point.
Nice job here getting Zeller a little extra time as we're moving into the window for the under 12 media timeout.
Here's Wyatt. And Wyatt again. 8 minutes without scoring. Stays at the Temple end of the floor. And there is that break. Another tight one in Dayton. All right, Greg, thank you. And the winner of that one will be facing Michigan down in the regional semifinals in Arlington. And there's Aaron Kraft getting ready to take the bus as they head back to Columbus. The hero of game one, the 3.92 GPA academic All-America, wants to be a doctor one day, pre-med major.
Special kid and a special player is Aaron Kraft. They simply call him an All-American guy in Columbus.
Just a thought, a little perspective here. With Gonzaga losing last night in the round of 32, that became the 20th occasion when a #1 seed failed to make it out of the round of 32 since they went to the 64 and beyond total teams. 3 of the 20 have gone down here in Dayton.
Wow.
Kansas against UTEP 92. Villanova over Michigan here in 85, the year Villanova went on to win the championship. There's 2 examples right there. And a rebound by Farrell. The other occasion was the St. Joe's win over DePaul, ending Mark Aguirre's career. And he was such a star for Coach Meyer.
He sure was. He was a terrific player, both at the college and pro level. One of the hardest guys I ever had to deal with, Mark Aguirre. And right now, Indiana in a decent spot here, Jim. Temple really struggling to make shots. And because of the foul situation, if Indiana can go inside, it looked like Watford may have gotten bumped there, no call. But I think if they go inside as Zeller returns to the action, they've got a chance to get some points in the paint or at the foul line.
So Hollowell out. And Indiana with 4 starters. Hulls, the 5th one, is on the bench. Abel's getting a lot of time here in the second half. Temple shooting only 25% in this half.
Yeah, and they've gotten some decent looks, Jim. I don't know if they can hold on to this short lead if they don't start knocking down some shots. I just think the ability of Indiana to go inside and punish them in the paint area and get to the foul line could be the difference.
And again, Wyatt, since that opening basket of the second half, hasn't scored until now. Khalif Wyatt. So that was a stretch of about 9 minutes, but he's back on the board. And it's Zeller double team. And that was last touch by Indiana.
Well, Khalif Wyatt has shown us just about everything in his package. Nice back cut. And that's a tough catch and finish between two defenders. But this guy here, Khalif Wyatt, has literally carried his team offensively. And he's the kind of guy, Jim, you've been around this tournament a long time. Sometimes it's the individual brilliance of one player that can make a difference in a one-and-done format.
Oh, he could do it. And he does it again.
Basket by Khalif Wyatt.
Plus, as you get later in this game, and he just starts handling it more and more and gets trips to the line.
Exactly. You're calling exactly what the IU fans do not want to see, because he can milk it to the finish line if they've got a lead late.
IU without a basket for almost 5 minutes.
Tell you what, we haven't talked enough about this Temple defense, Jim. It has been Philly cheesesteak strong with the little banana peppers on top of it.
That'll do it. Oladipo, and I thought for a minute there they weren't going to call it. It had to be called. Lee had his hand through the cylinder. And Oladipo with the basket.
This is where Oladipo excels, driving from the top of the key. And clearly Anthony Lee up through the bottom of the nylon. And there's Hollis back on the court. See, he returns as well. Hollis-Jefferson showing you the versatility he brings. Can guard every position on the floor and can make plays. He's actually second on the team in assists, Jim. And now they're going to play through him.
And they're going to be patient until Randall puts up the shot. Zeller's got the box. Out to Oladipo. And here's Hollis. Big time three-point shooter, and he shows it that time. Hollis cuts it to 1. Almost a walk.
Oladipo on Wyatt.
Wyatt way outside, away from the basket. As DeLeo takes it to the paint, puts up the scoop. No. Picks it off the floor, and Hollis-Jefferson bypasses a good look. Lee, though, is able to convert.
It went from a good look to a better one, Jim. Excellent patience, and another offensive rebound for Temple.
Oladipo. It's past Wyatt. Tried to draw contact, and there was nothing there.
Nothing at all, and he actually kind of went away from it, Jim, and flipped up a rather soft shot. You're down there, you can't look to finesse it, especially with Temple in foul trouble.
DeLeo with 12. And a switch off.
Good rotation back by Zeller. Hard hedge and got back to his guy.
Oh, Randall threw it away. Right to Coach Dunphy. Pounds the ball to the floor 2 or 3 times, but he's got the upper hand. His Owls lead it by 3.
And they lead because of this guy right here, Khalif Wyatt. He's a closer. If it gets close late, this guy will have it every time.
It is Temple behind Wyatt, leading the #1 seed in the East by 3. Pretty amazing when you think 3 of the starters, you look at the numbers, 3 of the Owls starters, O'Brien, Cummings, and Randall, are a combined 0 for 17 from the field. Yet they're winning by 3.
Well, they've got nice contributions from Anthony Lee. He's 4 of 6, Jim, with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and some pretty good defense. Obviously, Khalif Wyatt has been splendid, 11 of 21 for his 26 points.
26 of the 43.
A lot of different ways to get to the finish line with more points. Sometimes the numbers can say weird things. The bottom line, though, is you want to win, and that's a tough shot for Watford. Held ball, and it'll stay here. Fortunate break for Indiana.
Yeah, counts as a jump ball, and the arrow's at this end. Watford was trying to tie it from 3.
But again, off no real movement, and you've got the foul situation in your favor. You want to take threes, I think, in the half court off inside-out action. Or unless there's some type of defensive breakdown and you get one.
He hits, and it's been a while for Indiana. That ties the game at 43.
Sheehy now on Wyatt.
And Wyatt's got an answer at the other end. Now with 29.
Really good defensive work by Temple, Jim.
Tough pass. Zeller drives in. Too strong. Tried it with the left hand and lead for the Owls.
This is where you got to try to deny Wyatt if you're Indiana. When he gives it up.
Ball on the floor. And Hulls rolls over to get the tie up. And again, since we just had a change, it will stay with Temple this time.
Good job by Jordan Hulls. And he went in there to the ground with that bad shoulder. Looks like he's going to take a break now. Wonder if he may have re-aggravated it. Will Cummings back in as well for TJ DeLeo.
Hulls right there set a school record today for most games ever played. Been in an Indiana uniform 134 times now. That breaks the record that was shared by Randy Whitman and Jeff Newton. Scrappy play. Drew the jump ball, but the Owls with 5 on the shot clock. Randall, who's not hit from the field, misses again. He's 0 for 10 from the floor. And Sheehy is walloped. And that draws the 4th on Lee. So you got 4 on Lee, 4 on O'Brien.
Big story developing in terms of the foul situation. Lee has been terrific off the bench for Temple. But I think Fran Dunphy going to have to leave him out there. Talking about it with his assistant coaches now. Contemplating what to do. Got a little time as he gets ready to shoot his free throw.
Look at him trying to gather himself. And still swishes it. No problem. Follow tournament scores, stats, and news live on the CBS Sports app. Get it free by texting SCORE to 42777 or by visiting cbssports.com/mobile from your phone or tablet. Now to bring it within 1. Indiana trailed by 3 at halftime. Has not led this half. They've got it now down to 1 with 5 minutes to go.
Indiana's only committed 2 team fouls, Jim, so they should be very aggressive defensively here.
Randall can't buy one. Hollis-Jefferson, though, he's able to convert.
In addition to Wyatt, the story has been Temple's quickness to the ball and extra chances off offensive rebound. And in a low possession game, a low scoring game, those are absolutely critical.
Here's Watford, fouled on the way up. It'll be 2. It's called on Wyatt. Just his second.
Well, partner, you were begging for drama here in Dayton.
I love it.
And you're right on top of it now, right in the middle of it.
Is it too much to ask to beg for games like this the rest of the tournament too?
Not all. Not at all.
Don't want to use them up on one day.
Keep begging.
How far will 2 broke girls go to make their dreams come true? New episode tomorrow, 9/8 Central. Only CBS, America's #1 network. And Watford does get the second. With 4.5 to go, 48-46 Temple.
Jim, Indiana's only lost 6 times. 3 of the losses were when the Hoosiers did not score 60 points. They have not won a game of this type. It's grinded out, low scoring, low possession type. And if you're going to move forward, on occasion, you have to win a game outside of playing to your strengths.
It makes me think of Wisconsin, a team that's had their number.
Yep.
Playing this same kind of grinded out style. Cummings driving in. Dumps it underneath to Lee. What an assist. All set up by Will Cummings.
And that is perfect in terms of maximizing the shot clock, Jim, and getting something easy.
Sheehy lost it on the way in. The question is, was it touched? And one official says, yes, it was. It'll stay with Indiana.
Things are tightening up here, and Temple in control, making all the right moves late in this one.
$50 to $46 Temple. Tuesday on CBS TV's newest hotshot detective learns some new lessons. Golden Boy, Tuesday, 10/9 Central. Only CBS. Jim Nance with Clark Kellogg and Tracy Wolfson here in Dayton. A one went out last night, Gonzaga, and another one in deep trouble right now here in Dayton. Indiana has not led in the second half. It's been Temple, but it's been tight. And the ball to be inbounded by Hulls of the Hoosiers. Indiana has not made a basket now in 4 minutes. It's almost 4 minutes.
Well, some of my buddies like to say pressure will cook a ham or burst pipes and do all kinds of other things. We're at that point right now with the Hoosiers.
And that basket will count for Zeller.
Can they rise up and grind through this tough Temple team?
CBS coverage continues after this one with North Carolina and Kansas. And at 5 p.m. on TNT, it's the Infinity NCAA tip-off, followed by Minnesota, Florida. 7 tonight, TBS doubleheader, Florida Gulf Coast, San Diego State. And at 7:40, True will have LaSalle and Ole Miss. And that's called on Watford. But again, Indiana has fouls to give.
That's his first.
But you don't want to expire him now, Jim. You want to play good defense really without fouling because you don't want that shot clock recycling. So you got to be solid defensively without fouling if you're Indiana. And then you've got to rebound the ball. Temple is out rebounded Indiana by 5, but +8 on the offensive glass.
What a move, but he lost it on the way in. They call a foul, slipping through the fingers.
And they say he's in the act of shooting.
I didn't see that.
Let's see. Here's Oladipo crowding him. Wyatt using that against him.
Where was the shot?
That's a generous interpretation.
Where's the shot?
Yeah, that's a generous interpretation of him going into the shooting motion.
He's a great free throw shooter.
And I think he's one of the few guys that's better late. I mean, he's really good, but I think his percentage even goes up in these kind of situations.
He's got 30 now. And this would match his output on Friday. Most points by a Temple player in an NCAA tournament game since Mark Macon back in 1991. In an Elite 8 game, he was such a college star. Wyatt, 31 and 31 here in Dayton. Hulls, tough shot, but makes it. Hulls.
Big shot there by Jordan Hulls. He doesn't shy away from the moment either, Jim. Look at Hollis-Jefferson handling the ball as Yogi Ferrell denies Cummings. They're going to play through Jefferson until the last few seconds here.
Oladipo matched up with Wyatt. 7 to shoot. Now Zeller comes over. They double him. Wide open. It leaves Lee. What a block by Watford. But Lee is there. And rebound by Watford. There was all kinds of stuff happening, including a near shot clock violation. But it's back to Indiana. Approaching 2 minutes and a 2-point game. What a play by Watford. Zeller, he's going to challenge Hollis-Jefferson. Waits and is fouled. The senior Watford comes up big right here.
He came up large. What a terrific play at the basket by Watford. A nice find by Wyatt as he was triple teamed, but then Watford alert and aware and reacted quickly and denied that attempt by Lee.
Shooting 2 is Zeller. Next one can tie it. He's 6 out of 7 at the line.
About what he averages in free throw attempts per game, Jim.
We got a tie at 52.
I really think you got to try to do your best to deny Wyatt the ball.
Oladipo is with him. Wyatt wants it out high with 15 to shoot.
And then you got to be ready to double if he gets by Oladipo.
Oladipo went for the steal. Open 3. Long, and Oladipo's there for the Hoosiers. Then dribbles right into Wyatt, who's going to be called for the foul.
He gambles himself out of the play here, Oladipo, and Wyatt rushes this shot, but Oladipo pulls in the rebound, and then this is a good attempt by Wyatt, but a risky one, because they are now in the double penalty. Indiana in the double bonus.
Oladipo, 76%. Wyatt wanted that shot over again, as Oladipo woefully short that time.
Timeout.
Temple calls timeout with 1:19 to play and a second free throw coming up by Indiana. Oladipo will have a chance to give Indiana its first lead of the second half. Not every championship team can just run right through the tournament like the North Carolina team did back in '09 when they won every game by double digits. You look back through the history of it, most of them have had a game like this. They had to find a way to survive.
That's right. That's exactly right, Jim. And this is that time for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Oladipo gives them the lead. The first lead since 3 minutes were on the clock in the first half.
If you're Indiana, I think you've got to try to let or make somebody else beat you and not let it be Khalif Wyatt.
Hollis-Jefferson. Holes is on him. Now they switch back. And it's Cummings out high with 55 seconds and 10 to shoot, and a timeout from the Temple bench. Temple's going to set something up. Again, they'll have 10 to shoot, down 1. Temple has one timeout. What is the professor coming up with? He teaches a class at Temple, a business class. Dunphy, Mr. Big Five basketball. He's got 10 seconds for his team to shoot. A LaSalle graduate, 17-year coach at Penn, and now in his 7th year at Temple. No one more entrenched in the history of that great city's college basketball, you could argue.
No question about that, Jim. A fine player in his day as well. One of the outstanding teachers of the game that we have in college basketball. I think you double deny. This is a nice move here. Don't defend the inbounder. Double up on Khalif Wyatt. They got to go the distance. You got to be ready to help here.
4 to shoot. Hollis-Jefferson, and that's out of bounds. Going to Indiana.
Good job by Indiana that time. Yogi Ferrell did not defend the inbounder. Forced the ball to go away from Wyatt, and with the short shot clock, he couldn't get it back. Still 12-second difference between game and shot clock. Temple wants to try to defend without fouling and rebound. Even if Indiana hits a 2-point field goal, it's a 3-point game. You don't foul here if you're Temple. Come up with a defensive stop and a rebound. That's your strategy here.
It's Ferrell with 15 to shoot.
Indiana's strategy has to be quality shot. Oladipo on a drive or a post up for Zeller.
It's Zeller collides with Holes. Out high, Oladipo from downtown, and the 4-point lead. Wyatt.
You can foul if you're Indiana.
Puts up one from way outside, and the Hoosiers have found a way here in the last minutes.
Looking to post up Zeller, and that left Oladipo alone. He never hesitated. All of the work he's done on that perimeter shot.
Does this remind you of anyone keeping the shooting hand and the follow through extended for a while?
Well, he knew it was true when it left his hand. All shooters do. They know when it's on line and on target. What a big shot for number 4. He's had a bunch of memorable moments. None bigger than that one right there, Jim.
The officials are checking the time. Oladipo with the dagger, but then Wyatt's shot was a bit of a force here. It was, I know 10 seconds left, but that was a real desperation shot with a player all over him. Now they're just checking to see at what point is there perhaps some needed added time on the foul.
Looked like between 5.5 and 6 seconds is where they might end up landing here on the clock, Jim. And you're right, the shot by Wyatt, hurried and a bit forced. Good defense by Oladipo.
Right there.
Yeah, I think it's about 5.8, it looked like to me.
Oladipo signed with Indiana just months after the Hoosiers were coming off 6-25, including 1-17 in the Big Ten, the fewest wins in this incredible decorated history of Hoosier basketball, the worst win total since 1916. But he signed with them. He was not a big recruit.
That's right.
And he joined the likes of, again, Watford and Hulls and Elston. As Watford hits the free throw. He moved into Indiana's all-time top 10 scoring list on Friday against James Madison. And now looking to extend that career for another game. Got them both. Cummings off the mark. And Indiana is on to the Sweet 16 for the second straight year. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. That was a real struggle for them.
Big time, Jim, and the first game they've won with so few points this season.
They scored the last 10 points of the game. They were down 52-48 with 2:56 to play. Indiana and Syracuse will meet in the regional semifinals. You talk so much about this core group that helped resurrect the program under the incredible direction of Tom Crean. You know, Kentucky and Pitino had the unforgettables. Indiana with Watford and Hulls and Elston, they're the indelibles. As Indiana is on to the Sweet 16. Oladipo with the big shot here, winning it over Temple. We'll send you to our New York studio after these messages. Have it here.
Look at me. Big difference.
I'll get him.
Don't forget it. Right? I'm not joking. Don't forget it.
Wow, what a game. Congratulations, Coach. First off, just talk about the resiliency of this team being fought hard throughout the whole game.
Well, Temple, as I just said to their players in their huddle, they're as tough a team physically and mentally as we faced all year, and we faced the best all year in the Big Ten. And they take a backseat to nobody. This was a hard-earned victory that can only make us better.
It was hard-earned for this guy over here, Oladipo. going up against Khalif Wyatt. You had some words for him. What did you just tell him to not forget?
Well, he's got special qualities, and when he remembers that and puts that front and center, there's nobody like him, and that's what's key. And we had a lot of great basketball from a lot of people, but the two seniors, Jordan Hulls and especially Christian Watford, what they did for us in this game over 40 minutes is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Especially with Hulls overcoming that shoulder injury. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now, congratulations to you, Victor. And for you, it wasn't easy going up against Wyatt. How did you keep your composure, especially down the stretch there, and then hit that three?
Wow. First of all, credit to him. He's an amazing player. He's going to be a great pro in the future. But I was just trying to slow him down. You know, playing against people like that, you know, you have a lot of people like that in the Big Ten, whether it be Trey Burke or Deshaun Thomas, who need the ball in order to score. And I was just trying to limit his touches and, you know, make him shoot tough shots. And, you know, he was still making them. You know, he just fought through adversity, man. And, you know, credit to my teammates, you know, for believing in me, for Coach Crean getting on me and knowing, like, if I don't bring it, then, you know, we're going home, you know. And I just credit everybody, you know, to be honest with you.
Well, up next for you, you're heading home to Washington, D.C. You're a Maryland kid. How special will that be for you?
That's going to be real special. You know, get to play home, go home and play in front of my family and my friends. But at the same time, I'm trying to get to Atlanta.
We wish you the best of luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.